All right, thank you so much. We're very excited about the opportunity to do this call, and we're going to go over some amazing information. Let me go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint. Even though it's in English, it'll still give you some visuals to kind of see as I'm talking. I'm going to go into pretty good detail on the triGLP product. Again, we're excited to be launching this in the EU on December 12th, so 12/12, just about 2 weeks exactly from today, I believe. So we're right in that range, right around 2 weeks from today. So the first thing that I want to do is just talk a little bit about the partnership that we've created in Norway, and a little bit about the raw ingredients so you have an understanding. And then I'm going to get into peptides. I'm going to talk about GLP-1, GLP-2, GIP specifically. And then we're going to get into the detail of our actual product, what makes it so unique, why we're so excited about it. And then we'll also talk about some of the studies. We'll talk about the purity of it, and cost and all that basic information. We'll also talk a little bit about how massive this market is. If you're looking at nutrition now in 2025, and really for the last couple of years, it's really changing. Before, you're finding like different fruits and different things like that with a high ORAC rating, or different types of delivery systems for better absorption, and vitamins, minerals, just kind of the basics. And now things are really taking a turn, and they're focusing more on peptides that have specific functions in the body. So they're really narrowing down nutrition and what it can do. I've seen different things. I don't know if it's going to go this far, but I don't know if you've seen this, but with the peptide research and stuff that's going on, they've made statements, very smart people have made statements that if you can live 10 more years, the odds are you'll probably live to be over 200. And so they're making massive advancements in nutrition, how the body works. And the big studies are all in peptides right now. And it's just kind of like the signaling factors to tell the body what to do. And so they're able to get very specific and get amazing results. And the number one peptide of everything right now are the GLP peptides. These originally were designed for type 2 diabetics to control insulin sensitivity, control blood sugar, and help them start to lose some weight. Then they started seeing a lot of other benefits. So now you have almost every celebrity using it. You have things with we'll get into the detail on all of the benefits, but it's become in less than 2 years, it's become the number one selling pharmaceutical around the world. Not necessarily in the nutraceutical space, because there really hasn't been any really good nutraceutical options. But what has been happening is weight loss clinics opening up all over the world that are selling these peptides, and they're doing it through a gray area because they can't really sell the peptides without a medical doctor prescription, at least not in the United States. Outside of the United States, maybe they can. But what happens with this is they're selling it, and right on the bottles will say not for human consumption, for research purposes only. And it's very popular, going to the amino acid sites and stuff like that. Another big thing to point out before I get into the detail here is the average cost of the prescriptions is around $1,500 per month. Depending on the dose, it can be up to over $3,000 per month. And then the peptides, if you're buying them straight online, around $300 a month. Or if you're going to a weight loss clinic, it's going to be around $600 per month. And so that's what you're looking at with these peptides. And what I'm going to do now is talk briefly on our strategic partnership. They are out of Norway. The product that we have is 100% natural. All of the other ones are 100% synthetic. And there's a big difference there. All synthetics pretty much are going to have side effects. When you look at prescriptions, almost every prescription has a whole bunch of side effects. That's because they're introducing synthetic things into the body, and it doesn't know what to do with everything. So some of it just goes to waste, some of it gets assimilated and goes as planned, and then other gets stored or causes other reactions because the body doesn't know exactly what to do. The body really isn't even designed to get isolates. And so this everything is what you call more like the whole food. Even from the extracts that we have with the lemon peel and the ginger root, that's all from the entire whole food complex, no isolates, and something that gives us a really exciting product. But this again is from a company in Norway. Their main thing is raising salmon, the fish salmon. They sell the meat, but then they also do the omegas. And then they've created this amazing peptide all from the salmon. They start actually with the egg. So they start with the egg itself, and then they carefully select, and then start growing the egg, I guess, into the fish. They raise them for about 2 years in the pristine waters, natural open waters, but under a controlled environment. So you don't have any of the heavy metals, you don't have any of the issues. And then they also do everything else with the fish, all the processing and stuff like that right there. And it's amazing. I first learned about this company in 2012, and have really just been amazed at what they've done. They have done on this particular raw ingredient, it's patented, so that's something that we're excited about. And then in addition to it being patented, it also is got the studies behind it, and they spent almost over $300 million in research. I was talking to the owner just about 3 weeks ago, and they just raised another 400 million. They have all kinds of things that they're researching and really finding out some amazing things that we feel are going to change the way that people take nutrition and the way that it works. So let me get right into these GLP pathways and just give you a little bit of a small education on why they're so popular and what's going on. The first drugs that came out were GLP-1. And again, these were created specifically for type 2 diabetics and for weight loss. Ozempic is a big brand name, just as an example. We call it the appetite whisperer. It regulates hunger at the neural level by activating brain receptors. It slows gastric emptying for natural satiety, reduces food cravings and portion sizes, and promotes sustainable weight loss without making any changes. And so a couple really big things here, and some things that I've seen just studying this. Not only does it regulate hunger at the neural level by activating the brain receptors, they're seeing that it just kind of dulls the cravings in all factors. So that they're actually using microdosing of the GLP-1 for addiction clinics, whether it's alcohol, people that are trying to quit smoking, get off drugs, or even other addictions. And so they're having a lot of success with that. And this, again, is just kind of the beginning of what we've put together here with this amazing triGLP product. But this right here in and of itself is already in 2025 doing tens of billions of dollars on the pharmaceutical side. And that's not counting the nutraceutical side, which for sure is billions and billions and billions of dollars also. They're just probably within 15 miles of my office here in Layton, Utah. There's probably 10 to 20 weight loss clinics selling these GLP-1s. And again, they're selling them with that gray area on not for human consumption research purposes only. And that's just Layton. Layton's a small town here in Utah. If you go on the Wasatch Front, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 50 to 100 plus weight loss clinics, with their number one thing being these GLPs, and the average is about $600 per month. With continuing to research and seeing some of the problems and stuff, even though the people were losing a lot of weight with the GLP-1, because they wasn't changing diet, they wasn't adding protein, they were getting, in fact, less protein because they was eating less food. They, again, wasn't really changing their habits. A lot of the weight that was lost was lean mass. In fact, they were showing on average more than 50% of the weight loss was lean mass, not just fat. And so they started researching a little bit more and getting more into other types of peptides and things that could go along with it. And one of them that was kind of the next thing was GLP-2. They call this the core shield. This helps repair and strengthen intestinal barrier function. So it's starting to heal your gut and help with the digestive system, reduces systematic inflammation throughout the body. And this is a massive thing. Right here, every disease has an inflammatory response. So 100% of diseases have an inflammatory response. And I saw a study years ago, and they are really researching and looking into this and saying, how does this happen? What's going on? Does disease cause inflammation? Or does inflammation cause disease? And what they've basically settled on is the inflammation is coming first. And if it's untreated for a long enough period of time and the body stays inflamed, then that's where disease typically happens. And so it's very important for your health and longevity. And as we say with Be Epic, adding more life to your years to control that inflammation. And this is one of the best things that they've seen in reducing inflammation. And this works throughout the entire body. So this is so much more than just a weight loss or a fat loss product. In addition to that, it also enhances nutrient absorption and gut microbiome. So it's kind of working as a turbocharger for all the food that you're eating and all the supplements that you're taking so that you get better absorption, promotes digestive wellness and immune function. So it also helps with the immune system. And so what the GLP-2 is doing, it's really creating that gut health. It's reducing inflammation throughout the entire body. It's helping with the digestion and then also with the immune function. And if you can treat the gut and specifically the microbiome in the gut, they're also treating depression, anxiety, all kinds of things by healing the gut. And I know that sounds kind of weird. I'm not sure if you guys have heard this statement, but they say that your stomach or your gut is your second brain. And there's so many living organisms inside of us, whether it's parasites or just all kinds of living organisms. If you don't have that under control, it's literally constantly craving things and signaling your brain. And then your brain is giving you the cravings and things like that. So healing the gut, again, is one of the most important things that you can do for your health, reducing the inflammation, helping strengthen the immune system, and then getting better absorption of the nutrients and things that you do take. So the GLP-2 is also incredible. All of these just by themselves are products that would do tens and tens of billions of dollars all over the world. They're that big of an impact. And then we have GIP. Sorry, I skipped this slide. And GIP is again, it just works synergistically with the others. We call it the metabolic optimizer. It optimizes insulin sensitivity and glucose regulation. Again, this is so important. I would say that the number one health problem worldwide is insulin resistance. That's why you have type 2 diabetes on the rise in virtually every country around the world. Alzheimer's and dementia is on the rise. They're even calling that now type 3 diabetes. And this is all due to insulin resistance. It's not because the body's not creating insulin. It is creating insulin. Insulin's throughout the body, but it's not doing its job because the body's become resistant to it. And so this helps with insulin sensitivity. And again, that is massive. I really, the more that I learn about these drops, I feel that, everybody probably over about the age of 12 should be at least taking micro doses of this, even if you're not looking for the weight loss, just because the other benefits are that beneficial. Prevents blood sugar spikes and energy crashes, so it helps sustain the energy throughout the day. Enhances fat burning and metabolic efficiency. And this is one of the things that the studies showed with this product, the specific product from Norway, the ingredient that we use, the weight loss was pretty much 100% fat loss. So there wasn't losing the lean mass at the same time. And then supports sustained energy and mental clarity. So it actually works as a nootropic. And just in the control group that we got here in the United States, and I know some people in Germany have received the product also, and we have more product going there. And then again, we have a shipment heading on its way to the EU for the 12/12 launch. But we've been hearing all kinds of testimonials covering almost everything that we're talking about here. We've had people have aches and pains go away, people sleeping better, people losing weight, people better mental clarity, the energy, all of the things that we're saying the product is doing. That's exactly the feedback and the testimonials we're getting from the groups that have been using the product. We put it on sale in the US, well, in North America, UK, Australia, New Zealand on 11/11. And so we have, a couple thousand bottles out there that people have been receiving over the last weeks. And then just so far today, since we launched the sale back open, some more countries, some of Eurasia, and then also Mexico, Guatemala, Colombia, and then again in North America, UK, Australia, New Zealand, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of more bottles going out today. So it is something that it is creating a lot of excitement. And so what I want to talk specifically about is our product, which we call triGLP, because it works with all three of these GLP pathways. And it truly is a breakthrough in metabolic wellness. One daily drop. Again, the active dose that we recommend is between 4 and 12 drops, really depending on what you're looking to do. But it is designed to help the body shed fat, restore balance, and sustain clean, natural energy all day long. The benefits of this product are really go hand in hand with what we just talked about. So you have that triple action synergy for the appetite control, that's the GLP-1. For the gut healing and complete digestive wellness, that's the GLP-2. And then for the perfect metabolic balance and sustained energy, that's the GIP. And so it really is designed for comprehensive, transformation of the entire body, mind and body. And so that's one of the amazing things is just healing the gut can help, remove depression, anxiety, cravings, help people get off of addictions, whether it's sugar, whether it's alcohol, whether it's tobacco, other drugs. And the results have just been amazing. I mean, when you really understand what this is capable of doing, it's not that big of a surprise in such a short period of time. It's become the #1 selling pharmaceutical across the world. And as I mentioned, this isn't just me saying this or us saying this as a company. There's the clinical studies that show this. Weight loss was an average of 15 to 25% in body weight reduction. Blood sugar, again, it improved glucose control and HbA1c. The HbA1c is one of the main things that they're really looking at when they're calling somebody type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic. And so to be able to control that HbA1c is massive, and especially when you can do it with a 100% natural product without the side effects. Because what most of the doctors, at least here in the United States, are going to prescribe like metformin or things like that. And that's just another thing. I mean, there's just all kinds of side effects with these synthetic pharmaceuticals. Sustained energy without crashes. Again, that's just so much to do with controlling your blood sugar. And that's what your blood sugar is kind of designed to do, is to help regulate the energy of the body and also where the nutrients and everything goes with the body. The inflammation, again, systematic reduction throughout the entire body. That again is just massive to help reduce that inflammation. Helps get rid of aches and pains, helps prevent disease, and then also helps work with the immune system for all types of disease or sickness. And then the improved digestion, enhanced gut health and nutrient absorption. So many people are eating food, but they're still almost malnourished because the food that they're eating, and that's probably a little bit more prevalent here in the United States, but what's going on is they're just not absorbing the nutrients, and the nutrients aren't there. It's almost like fake food that people are eating these days, and it's so processed that there really isn't the nutrition there. And so enhancing the gut health and the nutrient absorption is also massive. And again, there is not anything in the market currently that is like this. There's over 3 years of proprietary research and development. They literally spent hundreds of millions of dollars in research of this and figuring out how the best way to use it and things like that. The pharmaceuticals are pretty much 100% injections. And so here there's no needles, jabs, pokes, or stings. Both the raw ingredient and then our extract process, both of those are patented. Pharmaceutical grade manufacturing standards. And here's a big thing, direct to consumer for maximum accessibility. On the other ones, you have to go to the weight loss clinic. They run tests. They do different things like that to see if you qualify for it. And then you're going to spend about $600 on average. The other way is pharmaceutical. You have to go to an MD. You have to go visit the doctor. Some do it over the phone, some in person. And then if your insurance doesn't cover it, you're going to be spending about $1,500. And in 2026, because the drugs are so expensive, many insurance companies are only allowing these GLP products for certain things, like if somebody has type 2 diabetes at a certain level, then it might approve it. But just for weight loss, if there's not a whole lot of other health conditions, it's not approving it. And as mentioned, there's so many benefits of these products other than just fat loss or controlling the blood sugar. There's so many other benefits, and so many other people are starting to use these on a microdose level. But being able to have everybody have access to this in approximately 80 countries around the world, starting 12/12, that's massive. And literally about 90% less than what the pharmaceuticals are costing, and 60 to 70% less than the weight loss clinics. They do have the clinical studies. It has been proven to improve metabolic efficiency with clinical proven benefits in an active and targeted way. And that targeted is targeting the fat specifically. It targets specific pathways that helps to drive fat loss, protect overall muscle mass, and boost energy levels. And then the optimal mix stimulating GLP-1, GIP, which is for your metabolism, GLP-2, which is your gut health, and then work together as a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, which supports good energy, good health, and just a better quality of life. And that's what we're all about with BEpic, is bringing products that are going to add more life to people's years. And that's exactly what this does, with reducing the inflammation, improving the gut health, helping to maintain your muscle mass, improve your energy, improve your focus, all of those things. And here's the exciting thing. When we really talk about this brand, and we launched it under the brand Orygn, just because we wanted, we didn't want this to just it's on BEpic. It'll be on BEpic also, so you can just go to your normal BEpic site and join with your first order with this. Again, starting 12/12, also in the back office of BEpic. But we also created another pathway for people to start, and that's under brand Orygn. And the reason why is this product is so big. We wanted to give the ability that it can just be have its own system, its own funnel, to where there's no other confusion, no questions on other products. And that's just, what strategy you want to use. You can focus on this product alone and send people to a website that only talks about this product, or you can go to the BEpic and have all of our amazing products. But it's just your choice. But two things that we talk about when we talk specifically about Orygn is the purity of the products, and then also the potency. And so this right here, this next slide, has a lot to do with the purity of the products. It's free from antibiotics. Again, it's 100% natural. It comes from fish, but how they process this and how they use it is, even if people have a seafood or a fish allergy, it's hyperallergenic, so they're still able to use the product. It's free from BSE, TSE, zero additives, kosher certified, halal certified, HACCP certified, food grade, and free from pesticides, non-GMO. And then, as mentioned earlier, all the labs are GMP certified, which a lot of times people ask, is this FDA approved? The FDA in the United States is Food and Drug. It doesn't approve nutraceuticals. So it's just foods and drugs. And so this is what they do, is they have a division that runs GMP, which is good manufacturing practice, making sure that the manufacturers are clean, making sure that all the testing on the raw ingredients are done correctly, making sure the final product has exactly what they say is in it. And they've gone, just as an example, not every lab is GMP certified. In fact, the majority of them are not. And so they've gone into retail stores and pulled products off of the shelf and tested them. And something like close to 75 to 80% of the nutraceuticals tested don't have the amounts of the ingredients, and sometimes don't even have the ingredients that's on the label. So it is very important, if you're going to buy nutraceuticals, that you know what's actually in it. And so all of the labs that we use are GMP certified, which again, they're certifying that all the tests are done, and they do audit them. So it's something that you can count on. But what we have here, we feel is so far beyond just being organic that we've actually come up with a term that we call Orygn Pure. Our ingredients are so pure, meticulously sourced. We select each element to exact specifications, from the pristine waters where our fish thrive, through our general processing methods, to the final nutrient-rich powder. This isn't just organic, this is Orygn Pure, a new standard in purity that goes beyond conventional categories. And that's one of the things that we're going to stand for. The other thing is the potency. So I want to explain that, because especially if you start looking at the studies and stuff like that, the studies were done on between 4 and 12 grams of this salmon peptide. And what we were able to do is create an extract. Again, the way that we do it is patented. We don't use any oils, we don't use any alcohol. So it's a very unique extract process. It's about 20 times stronger. So a lot of times you have an extract and it could be 2 times stronger, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. They have all the way up to 50 and 100 times extracts, but the most popular extracts are usually about 10 to 20 times stronger than the raw ingredient itself. And that's exactly where we're at. We're right in the ballpark of around 20 times stronger. Each drop of this triGLP is 50 milligrams. And so if you make that the 20x stronger, then it's about 1 gram. And so 4 drops would be the equivalent of 4 grams. 12 drops would be the equivalent of 12. And I'll be going into that here in a little bit more detail of the amount for different benefits in just a few minutes. But in addition to that, this isn't just a sublingual. The concentrate is so potent, you don't necessarily even have to put it under your tongue. You don't have to hold it under your tongue for 30 seconds or a minute like most sublinguals. You can put it under your tongue, it's up to you, but you can put it right on your tongue, and it has over 90% absorption. So let me just explain how powerful that is. The average sublingual has between 10 and 60% absorption, which is actually better than the average product that you're taking and digesting through your stomach, which has between 5 and 30% absorption. Even an injection is between 35 and 75% absorption. So we actually have higher assimilation and absorption rates with this product and with this extract than what they're getting with the actual injections. So it is very unique. It's very exciting. And the timing on this is absolutely perfect. I don't have statistics worldwide, but the statistics in the United States, 8 to 10% of the population is using a GLP-1 product. That's around 30 to 40 million people. And again, remember, that's not counting any of the people going to the weight loss clinics. That's not counting any of the people ordering online or going international to get the peptides. That's only the pharmaceutical side, 30 to 40 million. And that's, again, happen to go to the doctor. If your insurance doesn't cover it, you're paying $1,500 plus a month. Even if your insurance covers it, all insurances are different, so it just depends on the amount spent there. But in addition to that, and this is the more exciting part, there's 30 to 35% of Americans, around 100 million, that are searching, actively looking for different alternatives because they either don't have insurance that will cover it, they don't have the money for it, or they're hesitant to pursue injectable options. So they don't want to give themselves a shot every single day. The demand in the United States is so high that a lot of times the pharmacies are actually out of it, and you have to wait or go to 5, 6, 7 different pharmacies just to find one that can fill your prescription. This literally is the hottest pharmaceutical in the world, and it's getting more and more popular. And now that we'll have a 100% natural alternative that's significantly less, I do not think you could find a hotter product with better timing than this. So again, just in the United States, and this is a big thing because we have it for sale in the United States throughout this weekend. Anybody that you know in the United States, you can be signing them up. They can be purchasing this product, but not just the United States. The United States, Eurasia, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, Guatemala, Colombia. Those are the markets, Trinidad and Tobago, some of the Caribbean. So those are the markets that it's available in right now. So you don't have to wait till the 12th, because even if you live in France or you live in Germany, that's not your market. Your market is worldwide. You can be marketing through people in Eurasia. They can order this weekend and you can start getting paid. You can market to people in the United States. They can order this weekend and you can start getting paid, as well as the other countries that I mentioned. So here's the other thing. One of the last things that I'm going to cover here, and then we'll open it up to questions. But just as I was mentioned, the global GLP-1 drugs, the market size is right around $53 billion. And again, that's massive. When you're looking at 53 billion, that's what it is right now. The smallest number that I saw that it's estimated within the next 5 to 10 years was 120 billion, and some of them showing up to 500 billion. So even if we got a 1% market share over the next 5 years, we'd be between a $1 and $5 billion company just with this product alone, and that's at a 1% market share. To do $1 billion in sales, we'd have to move about 24 million bottles of this per year, or around 2 million bottles per month. That's just to hit $1 billion, and that wouldn't even give us a 1% market share. And when you're looking at us getting 1% market share, how do you get market share? Well, if you just use common sense and logic, if somebody's going to have the option, and here's their option, you can go to a medical doctor and get an injection, synthetic, all kinds of side effects, lawsuits, all of those different types of things. Or you can have something that's about 80 to 90% less, 100% natural, and just take 4 to 12 drops per day. I think that we should be able to get more than just 1% of the market share. Again, I wanted to cover this really quick. Again, if you're looking at what's currently available and doing these billions of dollars of sales all over the world, it's paid for weekly injections, and for most cases, single peptides only. Clinical visits required. Side effects. Ozempic alone has a $2 billion lawsuit going against them right now because of the side effects, medical waste and supplies. And I do want to point out, the side effects have nothing to do with GLP-1. This is a normal thing in the body. The side effects have to do with the synthetic nature and injecting yourself with something that the body doesn't know what it is. Ours is coming more like from the food source, exactly as if you was getting it in your food. And that's how it's intended for the body. So again, completely different. Oral liquid delivery, triple peptide formula, fat loss with muscle retention, 100% natural ingredients as opposed to 100% synthetic ingredients, sustained release, no needles or syringes, and just a massive market all over the world. So the last thing I'll cover here is the cost. For a 3-pack, which is enough for you to get the equivalent of 12 grams per day, each bottle has around 120 drops. A 3-pack is $130 plus shipping and tax, and a single bottle, which would be more like the 3 to 4 grams per day, I would say that's more for maintenance. But again, very, very popular, getting the benefits with the appetite control, just maybe at a little bit smaller level, the anti-inflammatory, blood sugar control, helping with the immune system. All of those things can happen even with a single bottle, because the studies did show between 4 grams and 12 grams. The 3 bottle would be more the equivalent of 12 grams serving per day. That's going to be for maximum results. And then the single bottle will be more for just maintenance and still a lot of improvements, but you won't get the maximum fat loss and things like that with the 1 bottle, because you're just not taking enough. And so That's what we're looking at. Again, it's available right now today. We've already sold thousands of bottles today in the countries that I mentioned, and it's going to be available in the EU, shipping from the EU on 12/12. So we don't expect any delays, but the product is just on its way. So it could be like what we have here, 10 to 14 days for shipping. A lot of the shipping is happening already because it's in the warehouses, but we do have some product in transit to some of the other countries that we're shipping to right now. So it will say the same thing probably when you order on 12/12. But it's just going to depend the products heading that direction, and so but until it's actually cleared through customs and in the shipping warehouses, we won't have an exact time, but we'll definitely have updates on that before 12/12, and then have an idea if it's going to ship right away. Then it won't have the anything on the SKU. It'll just ship like everything else. If there's any delay in the shipping at all, it'll say on the SKU when you order it. And so I just want to give everybody a heads up there. And that's really what we wanted to cover. Right now, we'll see if there's any questions. We have probably about 15 to 20 minutes that we can do questions. But I really do appreciate your time, and we're super excited to bring this product to the market. Let's see. I see like a question here. I'm just seeing if what I can answer. So the drops are gluten-free, so there's no issues there. When will we have access to Closer software? The Closer software has been available since November 11th. So right now you have access to the Closer software if you buy either the $50 or the $100 Ruby AI package, and it has Closer right on there. So let's see. With anything, depending on drugs and things that you're taking, there could be some issues with any product, but this is 100% natural. It's really should be no difference than just having the food again. But even if you're allergic to salmon or to seafood, you're not going to have those allergy problems. We've not heard of side effects from the manufacturer with their 3 years in testing and things like that. Let's see. It'll be the same payment methods that we already offer. So we have Apple Pay, we have PayPal, we have credit card, debit card, all of those. It's recommended children over 12. So over the age of 12, it's not recommended for people under the age of 12. I did explain this. This is for Jody. This 100% is in BeEpic. So as I mentioned, will be on the BeEpic website in the back office. We just have Orygn for people that want to focus just on the single product and not have it mixed in with 10, 15 other great products. So it'll be available on the BeEpic side, but then also on the Orygn side. So if you want to focus on multiple products, obviously you'll send them to BeEpic. If you want to focus on just this, then you would send them to the Orygn site because it's the only product on the Orygn site. Let me go back up and see things that I missed. There's a few questions in other languages. I can't answer those, but what we can do is as we get closer to the 12th, we'll do a Q&A that we will do. We won't do simultaneous translation, and then we can have Sean Loomer, who's our product trainer and stuff like that, come on, and then we'll do translation as he speaks, and then we can open that up on a normal webinar and get more questions answered. So I'm not seeing other questions that I can. It's not looking like there's other specific questions. Let me see if I missed some new ones.
Hey, Dan. Someone
Yeah.
asked, why should oral administration be better than an injection.
I already mentioned that because
Okay,
you got
yeah.
90% absorption instead of 30 to 70, and you don't have the pain and the possibility of infections and all of that that you do have with needles. So better assimilation, better absorption, not the pain and not the same issues with infections and stuff like that that you can get with needles. I see here that some people are asking if we have, pictures. We have testimonials, we have pictures already with the people that are using it. It's talking about people who pre-register to receive the 1% pool. The 1% pool is based on 2 orders within 48 hours. So all products are the same. It doesn't matter what product. It just has to do with getting 2 orders within your first 48 hours of joining the company. So if people pre-register, that's not an order. So their 48 hours starts when they place an order. Anything else, Jason, that you want to cover or want me to cover, or do you think we're good on this call?
I think we're good, Dan. I appreciate you coming on and doing this.
Yeah, no problem. You can see a lot of the stuff on Orygn. So ORYGN 1111 on Instagram. We have a lot of people's stories that we're posting there. We'll also have the stories and the testimonials on the actual website. So. All right, we'll go ahead and close out. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks so much for the translators. I know it's difficult to do instantaneous translation. And again, thank you so much for all of the distributors that joined and are going to help us take this throughout the entire world and in your local markets there in Europe. So we're super excited about bringing this to you as well as the other products that we have. This is just one of the newest. And again, it is just such a big market that we're excited to bring it. So again, thanks everybody, and have an absolutely incredible rest of your evening or afternoon, depending on the part of the country you're in. But again, thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day.